प्रभु के सुमिरन ध्यान में शुद्ध हो ये सब अंग, आत्म अंतःकरण में चढ़ता निर्मल रंग। जय सद्गुरुदेव। Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I welcome you all in this special series of 30 Days Global Meditation Challenge. As we all know, we are running all round the clock the regular online practice session, which can suit to any time zone, and anyone can join based on their availability. So make sure you are doing a regular meditation. I also like to emphasize on the word we call meditation challenge. The first and foremost, the meditation is really a challenge because the prime objective of meditation is to control the mind. But mind is so powerful. In fact, it won't allow us to do what we want to do. Instead, it finds a way to distract all the time. And ultimately, our efficiency will go down. Our productivity also decline. So how to overcome of this? As long as you continue practice dedicated way, you can have more control on your mind. And consequently, the person doing this is getting benefits of the mental pace, physical benefits, intellectual growth, more alert, and more conscious, and many more things there. So it lead you to the next level. It lead you to your own newer version, your own newer version. So this is your own challenge. Please develop a good habit to do a regular meditation. And do not forget to fill up the daily report. I'm Om Prakash on behalf of Global Meditation Challenge team. We would like to extend our thanks to all our channel partners, all our sponsors, all our regular attendees of the session, all the newcomers and those who have joined up this 30 days Global Meditation Challenge, and anyone sitting here first time, and our team members and their family to grace this occasion. Meditation challenge is for 30 days, and today we are here on our 15th day. An interesting, exciting talk planned for today as well. Let me bring you to the agenda of today's session. As you can see on the screen, initial few minutes are dedicated for a small introduction and welcome. We will start the session by offering a prayer that will be in two parts. The first one, which we call is Swagat Gan, and the other one, which we call is Mangal Gan. After prayer, there will be a talk, and today's topic is mitigating diabetic disorder. There will be a lot of learning for all of us, followed by vote of thanks. And after, we will offer a closing prayer before the end of the session. The entire session will take about 50 to 60 minutes. It may be extended few minutes depending on the question and answer by the audience and the speaker. So this is all about today's session. Before the session ends, you may have opportunity to ask a question based on today's discussion. So please feel free to write in a chat box or just wait for a Q&A session at the end. For those who are not aware of Vihangam Yoga, allow me to introduce you. Vihangam Yoga is an international organization, is an NGO, a pioneer in yoga and advanced meditation training, aiming at uplifting the human life in all aspects. The organization was established in 1924 by His Holiness Sadguru Sadafal Devji Maharaj, who discovered this wonderful meditation technique after 17 years of strenuous meditation practice in the dense forests in Himalayas. Today, under the guidance of Prajan Sadguru, His Holiness Sri Swatantra Devji Maharaj, Vihangam Yoga has reached around 50 countries and has transformed the lives of more than 5 million disciples. Our international headquarters is situated on the bank of holy river called Ganges in Allahabad in India, which is also called Prayagraj. Under the umbrella of Vihangam Yoga, there are many beings working to help mankind, protect environment, promote awareness, provide shelter and food during the natural calamities. Thanks to the all volunteers in our organization. I also like to introduce you the largest center of Vihangam Yoga is being constructed under the name of Sarved Mahamandir, located in Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh in India. About 20,000 people can sit together and do meditation. Please do visit if time permits so. Let us start the session. The first, we are going to offer a welcome song, a small prayer for the world peace and prosperity. The prayer will display on the screen in Hindi and English. To offer a prayer in the holy feet of the Master and will get blessing for the session, I would like to invite Mr. Mahendra Dev Ji. Mahendra Ji joining us from Germany, has been associated with Vihangam Yoga from almost 4 years. He is a successful electrical engineer. Over to you, Mahendra Ji, for Sadgan and Mangalgan.
जय सतगुरुदेव, थैंक यू ओम जी। स्वागत खान। आज स्वागत नित्य गुरुवर संत शुभागम आइए, अध्यात्म विद्या दिव्य ज्योति सोम रस बरसाइए, दोष दुर्गुण दूर करिके शुद्ध हंस बनाइए, भेद गम गति ज्ञान गर्जन शक्ति द्वार हटाइए, खुले द्वारा शब्द सागर भक्त जन अनवाइए, जन सदा फल विश्व शिक्षक शान आन बचाइए। मंगलगान। विश्व शांति नाम मंगल परम गुरु को ध्याइए, वर्ग द्वंद्व शांति दूर कर भाव भेद मिटाइए, सार्वभौम समष्टि सत्ता ध्यात्म राज्य बनाइए, वेश भाषा भाव जगमय ज्ञान पर दर्शाइए, समृद्धि सुख शांति धरातल स्वर्ग भूमि बनाइए, विश्व शिक्षक जन सदा फल नीति स्वर अपनाइए। जय सतगुरुदेव, थैंक यू।
Thank you, Mahendra, for offering a prayer. And now we have started our session. Moving forward to the next activity, which I hope everybody waiting for it, and that is today's talk. We are going to talk about mitigation of diabetic disorder. And for this interesting talk, we have Prem Prakash ji, is a senior yoga teacher and therapist at Vyas Yoga, Singapore. He regularly conducts the public program, the area of the wellness. Some of the program conducted are science of wellness, holistic wellness, mind wellness, prevention and mitigation of the lifestyle diseases, holistic yoga and science of the pranaya, dental care and the eye care. One of the core area where he's working for the last 1 year is mitigating and reversal of the diabetic disorder. He run the Focuses platform as Diabetic Action Group DAG. So far, 6 of the group members have reversed their disorder and the pill-free now is really a very great achievement. He is a firm believer and practitioner of the yoga science and presents scientific explanation for disorder and their mitigation and reversal with the proper monitoring and documentation. He is in the field of the yoga and wellness for the last 12 years. Mr. Prem is certified yoga instructor and a yoga therapist from the Vyas Yoga University, Bangalore, India. He is a passionate practitioner of the yoga science based on Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Prem Prakash is a gold medalist in engineering from Delhi University, and he did his MBA from FMS. He's a qualified course management account from ICMA, India, and certified program project manager professional from PMI, PMP, PMI USA. He has worked in organizations like Escort CIL, TCS in India, and CK Tang Computer Associate, Bamosha, iFlexitype, and Inventic in Singapore. In the field of engineering design, management consulting, software consulting, solution development, and maintenance for the last 46 years. He held the senior and top management position in these companies. He is currently CEO at Inventic Private Limited, Singapore. Prem Prakash is widely traveled and had opportunity to interacting with the leading multiracial, multinational teams, including the Indians, Chinese, Japanese, Australians, New Zealanders, Arabians, European, and Americans. This enabled him to learn a different social and cultural aspects for the human motivate and performance. Over to you, Mr. Prem, for today's talk. Everybody, please join. Thank you.
Thank you, Omji. It is my pleasure. And thanks everybody who has joined today. And again, in the Sadhana Pranam to Sadhguruji, we start this session on diabetes. So I will share my screen. So I hope my screen is visible to all.
Yes.
So just to start with, I wanted to share the prevalence of diabetes world over. So this says 425 millions all over the world are suffering from diabetes. And this number is increasing. And it is likely by 2050, we will have 1 billion people suffering from diabetes. And diabetes is a leading cause of blindness, amputation, heart diseases, kidney failure, and early death. This is from the Straits Times, which is the leading newspaper of Singapore, which says that by 2050, 1 million Singaporeans will have diabetes. They will be living with diabetes. So Singapore, with 4 million people, resident population of Singaporean, so we are talking of 1 million people out of that. And this was a advertisement by Temasek, which is the government company which is holding the cash of the government. And it also says diabetes can lead to kidney diseases, leg amputation, blindness, heart attack, stroke, and gum diseases. Looking in India, again, the numbers are no difference. In 2019, 2030, 2045, you can see the numbers here. So in short, what I'm saying is the diabetic disorder is becoming so prevalent. And in fact, when I came to Singapore 30 years ago, there used to be only one organization which was providing dialysis, National Kidney Foundation. And now every nook and corner of Singapore has a dialysis center. Now just OMG mentioned about Diabetes Action Group. It is an online education and action forum for people with type 2 diabetic disorder and who wants to change their lifestyle to either manage mitigate or reverse the diabetic disorder. So the whole idea is our forum, or this forum which we started 2 years ago, the intention of that was people should take action. And diabetes being a lifestyle disease and hence should be reversible or at least manageable or reducible by changing the lifestyle. So this forum provides education on scientific understanding of diabetic disorder, then customized action plan and mentoring, and the various tools like yoga, pranayam, meditation, nutrition, hands-on cooking sessions, etc., etc. And of course, the customized action plan and mentoring. Some of the key concerns or questions which the various wellness seeker which emerges from our forum is, diabetes being a lifestyle disease, then it should be reversible by changing the lifestyle. Second question is, can diabetes be reversed by medication but without changing the lifestyle? Once reversed, is reversal of diabetes sustainable? Sustained reversal of diabetes, will it put too many restrictions and will the life be worth living? Then question number 5, many other related chronic diseases like high blood pressure, obesity, thyroid disorder, knee pain, etc. Will these also get reversed if one can sustain diabetic-free life? The next question is, why diabetes medicine keeps on increasing despite managing glucose level? And why many life-threatening diseases result despite taking medication? So all these questions bother the person who is diabetic. There is also another saying that diabetes is mother of all diseases. And we have also seen in case of COVID that people who are diabetic, they were more susceptible to aggravation of infection. So as OMG has mentioned, these are the 6 people who has reversed their diabetes. And when I say reversed, means completely reversed. It means they are not taking any medication whatsoever. Not even allopathic medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, homeopathic medicine. Everything gone. So they are only eating food. So number 1 is, I just quickly run through Basho. He lives in San Francisco, USA. He is 68 years old and he was having a diabetic disorder for 27 years. And he was in pretty high doses of medication but close to getting an insulin jab. It took 5 years sustained effort to reverse it, and he is now sustaining it for more than one plus years, I think about 1.5 years. And in bargain, he has reduced his weight by about 14 kg. Second person, Vijay, he lives in Mumbai. He is also 68 years. He was diabetic for 20 years. And he was again on the high end of the medication. And his reversal time was 1 year. And he is pill-free since last 10 months. He reduced his weight by 8 kg. And also acidity and knee problem disappeared along with the diabetes. Nara, he lives in Singapore. He is 69 years old. He was diabetic for about 10 years. And he was the early stages, like the mid-range of the diabetic medication. He took about 1 year effort, and he is also 1+ year pill-free and weight reduced by 9 kg. Harikesh, he lives in Delhi. He is 69 years, then also similar pattern, 10 years he was, again mid-range of medication, again reversal time of one year, and then pill-free since about a year or so. He also reduced his weight by 11 kg, also acidity, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. These were the bonus he got. Shankar is a little younger, 53 years old, diabetic for 12 years, again on the high end of the doses. He started doing it because I knew him from long time, and in fact he was the pioneer in terms of starting this activity, and he is now pill-free from last 2.5 years. He was not very high on the weight, so he's reduced his weight. He is on correct BMI now, and now there is no disorder. In fact, he has no medication. In fact, most of them are not taking any medication. Pradeep, he lives in Singapore. He is 49 years. He had diabetes only for 2 years, but he was still again in the mid-range of medication, and he reversed it in 2 months' time, because I think his disorder was only 2 years, and he reversed it within that period. And he is pill-free since about 6 months now, and he reduced his weight by 8 kg, and he was also having a thyroid disorder, and he has reduced his medication by 50% by now, and he is working to get rid of the remaining. So this is what we provide: scientific knowledge, number one. Then the belief, which is the most important aspect in the diabetes management journey, is belief. What is your belief? For example, some people feel that it is my father was diabetic, my mother was diabetic, so it is natural for me to be diabetic. And in fact, 2 of the cases which I mentioned earlier, they are both parents, brother, everybody is diabetic, and still they are reversed. Then what we do is a consequence analysis. So we look at different scenarios you have, what are the different options you have, and where they are going, where they will lead you. Because it is very important, first of all, we have to prepare the mind of the seeker for taking up the process. Then is the sankalpa. This is, of course, once the 1, 2, and 3 is there, and once they proceed here, that is where we take a sankalpa. So it is just like you make a commitment to yourself that yes, you are deciding to reverse it. Then at stage number 5, we make an assessment of the disease, assessment of your current lifestyle. Because then and only then we know that this is our starting point. After that, we go through a customized action plan, because every body is different, your lifestyle is different, your likes, dislikes are different. So whatever fits for X may not fit for Y. So we have a mentoring session, and the first mentoring session takes about 2 hours. And after that, we make a customized action plan. Then we have a lot of tools, and some of the tools I will share, but definitely tools like pranayam, yogasan, meditation, the food plan, and how to consume food, what are the different timings of the food, also like hands-on session where you cook the food under the guidance of someone over a Zoom call. And then this number 6, number 7, and number 8, they go in an iterative manner. And most important tool is the documentation tool. So you start recording your glucose reading. And of course, the education form is there. So typically, we conduct a workshop on diabetes scientific knowledge, which is about 10 hours long, session spread over 3 days. And that is where this information is shared so that they get the correct scientific knowledge. And so 6, 7, and 8 keeps on in an iterative fashion. And number 9, which is very, very important in my opinion, is celebrating and sharing the success. And we provide that in our forum also, we provide that opportunity. So if you have made some progress, so you can share that. Because when you share it, your mind gets a reinforcement that you are progressing. You will win. You are progressing and you will win. So that makes a huge difference. So the key points is diabetes mellitus, which is type 2 diabetes, and an internal disorder of the human system due to lifestyle, not in line with the human body. So it means we have opted for a lifestyle which is not in line with the way our body was designed. It is mother of many disorders, and with chemical medicine, it keeps on aggravating. Body cell becomes glucose starved. That is vital for well-being of cells. So in fact, this is a situation where we have too much of glucose in the blood, but the cells are starved, which I will explain as we go along. Cell intelligence is disturbed and the cell working is impaired. And that is why, many organs are affected. Excess glucose gets deposited in adipose tissues, leading to obesity. And then again, that adds to the problem. Less glucose in system due to poor digestion, leading to weight loss. And again, some cases there is a weight loss also. Some cases there is an obesity, and some cases there is a weight loss. Too high glucose beyond 250 mg per deciliter circulating in the blood for a long time impairs the ability of red blood cell, resulting in less efficient transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide to the cell. So again, the basic building block is impacted. So despite medication, diabetes mellitus keeps on aggravating and even leading to disease like dialysis, kidney transplant, blindness, etc. etc. So these are some of the root causes which we will discuss as we go along. So let us understand about the glucose. Now, glucose is the most important nutrient of the body, and it is needed 24/7 along with the oxygen. It is the fuel of the body without which we cannot function. And it is needed 24/7. Every second the cells has to burn glucose in the by using the oxygen to generate the energy. And the unit of energy is ATP. So body consumes and manages glucose very judiciously, because this is a very precious commodity for it is like the money of the body. So for example, you are getting a salary of say $5,000 and suddenly your salary becomes $10,000. You don't throw the remaining $5,000. It's the same situation for the body. So body has got more resources, the body will conserve those resources. So because it basically, why do you keep your money and you don't throw it, or you don't, because you want to keep it for rainy days. So is the case with the body. The body is also keeping that glucose for the rainy days. And our body is designed to have so many storage mechanisms for glucose for rainy days. For example, you must have known the people who has gone on like Amran Anshan. So they have lasted for 40 days, 50 days, 60 days. They have survived without food. On an average, we need 250 to 300 grams of glucose every day. But the amount of glucose which is circulating in our blood is about 5 grams only. So it means this is a very important scientific understanding that this 5-gram glucose can last only for 20 to 30 minutes of the life of the body. So therefore, there is a very complex mechanism which is built in our system of storing the glucose and retrieving it. So continuously that mechanism is working. Whenever we eat, that excess glucose is there, a lot of glucose has come in the system and it will be put in the storehouse. And then as we start consuming the glucose from the storehouse, we keep withdrawing. And this is a very intricate, very well designed mechanism, because this is the fundamental mechanism of our survival. So it is very important for all the wellness seeker to understand our glucose mechanism. So as you can see, this is the fundamental equation. So we have glucose and oxygen. So we consume glucose, we consume oxygen every second. And the energy is released for the working of the cells. And in that process, carbon dioxide plus water is produced. So this carbon dioxide is then transported back from the cell to the blood, and from the blood it goes to the lungs, and from the lungs it is thrown out by our breathing exercise. So the role of pranayama is very important in glucose management. And this is what is the cycle of survival of the whole, not only mankind, but animals, plant, everything. So whatever we are doing as a human and animals, the plants are doing exactly the reverse of it. So what they are doing is they are taking carbon dioxide and they are taking water, and then they are taking the energy from the sun, and then they are converting into the food and oxygen. And we consume that food and oxygen, and then we make carbon dioxide and water. And this carbon dioxide and water is consumed by the plants and they make food. So the only food manufacturing factory on this planet is plant. So the primary source of food on this planet is only plant. So this is typically how the glucose balance happens in our body. So when we take a meal, the high glucose is there, and then suddenly our whole system starts working and start putting it into our storage. Then again, whenever we have shortage from the storage we will consume, we take a second meal. So again, glucose is produced by our digestive system. carbohydrates are consumed and converted into glucose, and then again it is transferred in our storage. So again, third meal, like that. So if somebody is taking 6 meals in a day, there will be 6 peaks. If somebody is taking 2 meals, there will be 2 peaks. So like that it will happen. If you are taking 10 foods, you are taking small component of food, so there will be more peaks. Now, whether it is desirable to take more times or less time, that is something which we, today it's difficult to discuss because the time is very short. So that now our body is holistic. Our body is not like one organ is separate and the other organ is separate, and we are all connected by a pipeline. I don't know if any one of you have gone to Bangkok. So there is something called floating market. So there are boats which are going in the canal, and these boats are selling the food or selling like bananas, apples, all the they're called food boats which are available, and the people by the side of those canals, they can do their shopping. So our pipeline, which is our lifeline, which is the blood supply, is 90,000 kilometers long, which really feeds each and every cell. And this pipeline contains everything. So it contains all the macronutrient, micronutrients. It connects with our ear, brain, kidneys, everywhere it is connected. And it also has repair agent. It has food, repair agent, as well as our soldiers. So whenever infection happens, we have soldiers in our system, they will attack. Then similarly, whenever the cut, etc. happens, we have a repair agent. So they will come into action and they will repair the things. So it's a very holistic system. And when the functioning of each and every cell is disturbed, that is the reason why each and every organ is subject to deterioration as diabetes prolonged for a long time. So this is how, in a common man's understanding, the glucose balance is maintained. So when we take the food, we eat carbohydrates along with protein and fat and all micronutrients, and then they go into the blood supply. And from the blood supply, what happens is that the excess glucose is pushed into our liver, and if the liver also has certain amount of storage, beyond that it goes into the adipose tissues, the excess glucose, and in the form of fats. And then whatever is the glucose in the blood supply, that is used by our cells and all the cells, brains and muscles. And if there is excess glucose, then body will push it into our kidneys, and kidney will reabsorb most of the glucose. But in case there is an excess glucose here, then it will throw out. So this is a natural mechanism of glucose balance in our system. So kidney is the mechanism to throw out the glucose. In fact, the earlier time, when the current type of test was not available, people used to know whether you have diabetes or not by having a taste of the urine, or by seeing some kide makode has come around, that some insect have come around your urine if you are urinating in the open. So that used to be the test. Or sometime I understand even the doctor used to taste the urine of the patient to see whether you have the diabetes or not. So this is how it happens. So when the blood sugar level is high, then the extra sugar will be pushed into the adipose tissues, and when the level is low from the liver, the glucose will be thrown into the bloodstream. So the function of pancreas and liver, they work hand in hand, and then pancreas will release the necessary hormones, and the two hormones are insulin and glucagon, and they are working. Insulin is for pushing the glucose into the liver, and glucagon will bring the glucose into the bloodstream. So this continuous process keeps on happening. The insulin will work only when you eat the food. But whereas the other hormone will keep bringing it every 10 minutes, every 15 minutes, certain small amount of glucose will come from the liver into the bloodstream. The whole idea is that we maintain the glucose in the bloodstream at around 120, between 100 and 120 milligram per deciliter. Now, when you have a diabetic disorder, so what happens is there is a lot of glucose outside the cell. That means in the bloodstream. But the cells are not eating the glucose because the cell intelligence is corrupted due to too much of fat inside. So there is a mechanism which we have where there is receptors, and these receptors have certain amount of key. They are like a security guard. So they will not let the insulin go into the cell because the cell is already filled with something which is not supposed to be there. So we call it insulin resistant cell, but these insulin resistant cells are also glucose starved cells. So the problem is at the cell level, it's a disease where the glucose, your cells are starved of glucose. And that is why the energy level is very low. You always feel hungry, you want to eat more and more. So that is what it is, the symptoms are there. So it means this is how it happens. So you eat food, then when you eat food, it will make insulin, and then the cell are not able to eat the insulin because they are resistant and they remain starved, and it goes, the sugar is stored as a fat, and you feel tired and hungry, and then you eat more food. So this cycle goes on, and then at this point of time, more and more fat is getting stored. So it means you will become obese, cells are not having enough insulin, and you remain tired and lethargic. So these are the complications which you have seen in that advertisement of Tamasic also. So you can see name each and every organs can have problem like stroke, heart attack, glaucoma, cataract, diabetic foot, kidney problems. So practically all organs are affected. Another thing which I just wanted to share here is there are 3 measurements. So many times people are confused. So I thought that I will just give this chart. Anybody wants to take a picture of this, please feel free, open your camera or print screen of your laptop and you can take the picture. So one is HbA1c and other is mg deciliter and other is million moles per liter. So these are the 3 scales and these are the comparative comparison, this thing. And the green shows when you are in a good situation. This is like intermediate situation or amber situation. This is the poor condition. So it is very important whenever you take the measurement, you should also read what is the unit of measure. So depending upon the unit of measure, you should make a conclusion. Now, how the chemical medication works? So what they do is they reduce release of stored glucose from liver. So basically what the chemical medication is doing, and one of the most potent salt is metformin. And this metformin, what it does is it works on our liver and withdrawal of glucose from the liver is retarded. It basically interferes with that process. So this is one way, and this is the way the metformin works. The second type of medicine, they work on our intestine and they try to reduce the absorption of glucose from our digestive system. So let the glucose be thrown out by the digestive system and not the entire amount of glucose which are manufactured or extracted by the digestive system is transferred into our bloodstream. The third type of medication is increased insulin secretion from pancreas, but at later stage when pancreas starts malfunctioning. So what happens is they try to extract more insulin from the pancreas, but the consequence of that is at a later stage, pancreas starts malfunctioning and hence the insulin manufacturing process in pancreas is uh, impaired. And that is why at a later stage, although when you start with the type 2 diabetes, there is no requirement of insulin, but at a later stage, you require insulin also. So it becomes like combination of type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Now imagine if you are a car which has 2 drivers. So our situation when we are trying to treat diabetes is like having a car with 2 drivers. And this driver believes in keeping left, and this driver believes in keeping right. This driver is also taking the measurement of glucose, and this driver is also taking the measurement of the glucose. This driver has one philosophy of working, and this driver has different philosophy of managing the glucose. And that is how our car is driven. So the summary is, in summary, what I would like to say is that we have many people and we have a very systematic form for assessment, and people tell how they got into diabetes and what happened, what was the situation when they started with the diabetic disorder in their life. Without exception, everybody had prolonged period of high stress in their life when they started diabetes or some infection. Without exception, everyone mentioned that is the root cause when they started with diabetes. So a lot to do with what we have been doing in this meditation challenge is focus on meditation. Unhealthy food choices, unhealthy method of preparing the food, eating timings, and also processing. And also many people have constipation. So it means their digestion is affected. Then the lifestyle issues like lack of exercise, lack of sun and fresh air. Excess fat in the system, because that is where the insulin resistance develops. And because of a lot of pesticides, pollutant in our environment as well as in our food, the cell intelligence is disturbed or it is impaired. And also the disturbed thyroid control and liver function also contributes to the diabetic disorder. And also suppose you have a family lifestyles and therefore you will have a higher tendencies. So if your parents are diabetic or brothers, sisters are diabetic, so you will have slightly higher tendencies, and these people will have to take more precautions. But that doesn't mean that they can't do it, because you have seen that 2 or 3 person in our 6 winners, their parents, everybody in the family was diabetic. I guess I am on time, Omji. So we have some time for people to ask questions.
Yes, if anybody has any question, please raise your hand or just unmute yourself.
So all I'm saying is, I have given a very quick overview in about 40 minutes. And the whole idea is that inspire you to take some action in case you are diabetic.
Any question? Yeah, Mr. Rahul, please.
Rahul has, I think 2 people have. Yes, Rahulji, you go ahead.
Okay, so very nicely presented and very very good presentation, very scientific, elaborate, and detailed. So my question is, so whatever data you presented about the prevalence of diabetic disorder was mostly collected in Singapore, or you did some studies for India also?
Yeah, it was basically, I have presented 3 pictures. One was for the world as a whole, where 425 million people in the world are diabetic.
Okay, so perfect.
The second picture I presented was for Singapore, and the third picture which I presented was for India.
Okay.
So I can, I can show the pictures again if you want, but here, please shoot your question.
I mean, this is my curiosity, so I'm not putting questions. So, any effect on circadian rhythm? Like, did you do any study? So, I was reading one neurological paper, neuroscientist papers, and it was mentioned that India is one of the sleep deficient nation in the world, and a huge chunk of population has a hidden stress that they are not aware about. So how much stress affects, no, I mean, circadian rhythm. So let's say you sleep at 10, you get up at 3. You feel like, okay, I'm doing fine. You feel energetic using some, but I mean, that may not be optimal amount of sleep that you need. So how much circadian rhythm affects this diabetic disorder?
I got your question, Rahulji. First of all, I think the prevalence of diabetes in different part of the world is not different. The only difference is depends upon the richness of that part. For example, within India also, there is high prevalence of diabetes in states which are rich states or which are very affluent states. For example, states of Tamil Nadu, state of Kerala, state of Punjab, where there is an affluence and there is a lot of food available. As compared to state like Rajasthan, state like Uttar Pradesh. So as I would like to say that it is a disease of the kings and queens, rather than it is not a poor man disease. It is a disease of the kings and queen. So in a way, you should be happy that you have been infected by a king's disease and not a poor man's disease. Stress is the single root cause. Now, as far as the circadian rhythm is concerned, it definitely has. But the sleep deficient is something which I don't buy the idea, because sleep requirement varies from person to person. For example, Modi ji sleep only 4 or 5 hours a day, and he has been working for last almost 30 years at that pace.
Yes, but he has a belly fat. That is
So,
also because of insulin secretion.
So, for example, my sleep requirement is also relatively quite low. I mean, I sleep at 10. I will wake up at say about 3:30, 4 o'clock. If I sleep at 11, so 5 o'clock or something like that. And I have been doing it, and I am quite okay. Whereas there are some people who can sleep for 8 hours and the sleeps still sleep deficient. Sometimes I feel oversleeping could also be a problem also. And as far as these newspaper reports are concerned, they always have some bias because they want to sell something, and that is why they are doing it. But stress is the root cause, undoubtedly, and that is why meditation challenge, which the whole group has started, is fantastic. So maybe I think we can take this Simon Prakash ji. Hello, is it Simon Prakash ji? Please, you can ask you unmute yourself if Om ji has to allow him or something like that. No, you got muted again, sir.
So while Srimanji is connecting, and just a quick question, what we can add on, I mean, what we can focus on more on our diet? I mean, basically, if we want to share something here.
Regarding the diet, I think what we need to do is we have to go for a balanced diet. And also, I will summarize it in a single line: whole food, plant-based, cooked below or up to maximum of 100 degrees. And take 2 meals or 3 meals a day. And no snacking in between. Maximum 3 meals, and if you can manage with 2 meals, 2 meals a day. Whole food, plant-based, and cooked not beyond 100 degrees. So even for example, pressure cooking, which is at 120 degree, will deprive you of the nutrients. And also no refined food like refined oil, refined rice, no refined food. So this has been our experience, because those people who has reversed it, they have done it, and it is very easy to do it. There is something called slow cooker, and everyone has purchased some sort of a slow cooker. Everything cooks very slowly in that. Although it takes 2 hours or 3 hours, put a timer. These days technology is available. Start the whole process 2 hours earlier, and you don't have to do anything. The food is ready. And eat fresh. Frozen food, keep it from the supermarket. You buy the frozen food, thaw it, and then do that. So that actually is not the right thing. But surely, sir, anybody specific, then I think Subhashji can provide my number to that person, and we can have more specific discussion, because today forum I can only give a general answer. But again, specific requirement of different people is different. There are people who are vegetarian, there are people who are non-vegetarian. Incidentally, out of 6 people who has reversed in our group, 2 are non-vegetarian. So I asked this question to them, hey, what do you do about your non-veg food now? They say, no, we still continue today occasionally. Now our taste buds have changed. And by the way, taste is always an acquired taste. When I came to Singapore, I had sweets. I came from India, and a box of sweets, some wedding ceremony was there, and that time Indian sweets were not available in Singapore. And I have a management meeting. That time I was Seagate and Group IT director, and I offered to my management team, which was mostly Chinese people, and none of them could take even a small bite of sweets, which we love to eat day in, day out. That was the time I realized that taste is something which acquired. And my wife is a PhD in biology, and she said, and according to her, our taste buds has a life only of about 20 days. So within 20 days, the new taste bud will come, and they will not know what the previous experience is.
Yes. All right. Thank you. Sivanji, you can ask your question, please.
Yeah, thanks, Premji. I just have one very quick question. You've been very technical in your summary. So I have one small technical question, and this is not my area. You said in one of your slides that your HbA1c levels, if it is below 7 or 8, you're okay.
Actually, I just showed you the chart, and this was only like a comparison that different units or measures are there. But again, whether you are okay or not okay, again, I think, I mean, that's not what we are discussing here, because the desirable level is HB1AC around 5.5 or so. But what I'm saying is that if your HB1AC or your glucose level, actually HB1AC is not a good measure when you are trying to manage your, trying to act on your diabetes, because your body requires 24/7. Every second is crucial to the body. Whereas HB1AC is 3 months average. Now today, suppose your glucose level has come to 4, you will perish. Your HB1AC may be correct, but your glucose level have come to 3.5, or maybe say around 60 milligrams per deciliter. Your body will perish. I have seen people, I mean, that is happening. But whereas on the other hand, today your glucose level is 200, nothing will happen, because that is a normal design of the body, that the glucose level should go up to 200 after taking the food. In case your glucose level is not going up to 200, then it means your digestive system is not working. I hope I have answered your question, Simanji.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Premji, one question here.
Yes, please.
And somebody asking, up to how much A1C is not concerned?
up to how much. You see, again, what I'm saying is, the whole idea is, I'm just trying to reinforce this point, is that you need to plot your chart. When we start, mentoring, we first plot the chart, and there is something called CGM, continuous glucose monitoring device, which is available, and you can put it on your, you can put it on your wrist, on your this place, and then it will keep continuously giving you the reading. So the first thing which you have to do is you have to plot your chart. The chart which I showed you was a generic chart, but you have to plot your chart, and you have to look what is the normal level when you are not eating food, and what is the peak, and only after that you can make an analysis.
All right, thank you. Any more question? Rahulji, do you have any question?
No, thank you.
All right. So I think there's no more questions so far. So thanks, Mr. Prem Prakashji, for wonderful talk on diabetes, and we have learned many things today. And I'm sure those who have joined this talk today, they are not worried too much on diabetes. The key thing to take note is do a regular pranayam, and also do not take any stress. That's very important. And also you must be focused on your diet. As been recommended, the plant food is very, very good for this. So moving forward to the next, for the vote of thanks, I would like to invite Mr. Rahul. Rahulji joining us from Spain, a long-time practitioner of the Bihangam Yoga. Over to you, Mr. Rahul, for vote of thanks.
Sadhu Pranam to everyone joining this session, including all this supportive and sponsoring organization. And it is indeed a privilege for me to have been requested to issue a vote of thanks to Mr. Premji. It was very informative, very detailed, and nicely oriented presentation. And I would like to extend a very hearty vote of thanks to my special guest and our special guest for gracing his important work and sharing with us his findings, and whatever he's doing is very commendable. It's really commendable that he's proposing a holistic and very personalized approach of dealing with a diabetic disorder, and which is quite incremental in nature, very step-by-step and detailed way of doing this. He has mentioned very nicely that how this change can be sustainable, this sustainable reversible change. And he is one of the believer of meditation versus medication controversy. So I feel myself really blessed to be part of this session. And finally, I would like to like this opportunity to place on record even the organization, mainly Vihangam Yoga Singapore team, for the quality logistics support. And I personally believe that an event like this would not be possible without the strenuous effort of selfless volunteers working day and night to bring this event into reality. And as the session is going to end, I once again want to reiterate that we should be really privileged to take whatever message we get out of these sessions and try to inculcate this kind of things in our daily life. And please join if you have time for sessions on weekends. And we try to impart as much knowledge we have and we could have from our distinguished guests like we have today. So thanks to all. Sadhu Pranam.
I will also like to thank Vihangam Yoga for giving me this opportunity to share my experience, and also Subhashji, whom I personally knew, and now that I know many other people, and all the participants who were active listeners. And only because of you, we get this experience and also certain data. with which it gives us our confidence. So thank you everyone. Thank you again, Omji, Rahulji, Subhashji, and all the organizer of Vihangam Yoga. This challenge which you have started is a tremendous opportunity, and I always look forward to doing my practice every day. Thank you again, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Premji, and thank you, Mr. Rahul. And just for one more reminder, if you actively participating on 30 days global meditation challenge, please kindly submit your daily report. And if you have any question, do also post on Slido. You can see Slido, the code is GMC. Now moving forward to the next. Let's offer a closing prayer on the holy feet of the master, prayer which we call is the Santi part. To offer the Santi part, I would like to invite Francis Ji joining us from France and working as a Montessori teacher in international school and actively participating all the activities, and she has associated with the Hingam Yoga since childhood. Over to you, Francis Ji, for Santi part.
Thank you, Omji. Shanti Pat. हे प्रभु शांति स्वरूप हो, शांति शांतिमय शांत, शांति शांति जन शांति हो, पूर्ण शांतिमय शांत। हे प्रभु शांति प्रदान कर, दूर हो सर्व अशांत, देव सदा फल शांतिमय, शांति शांति सुख शांत। सद्गुरुदेव की जय।
Thank you, Prachi for Santi part. And we are about to close the session. Again, thank you, Mahendra Devji, Prachi and Rahulji. Thanks for your regular support during this meditation challenge. And thank you, Mr. Prem Prakash as a speaker today. Hope to hear more from you in upcoming sessions. We're really inspired by you as one of the great service for mankind to develop the diabetic-free lifestyle and diabetic-free society. Someone has said, truly, body has given for you for a specific purpose. So please maintain it well. Do not give it to the doctor for his business. And also thanks for supporting up all the regular practitioner of this session as well as the Global Meditation Challenge series. Thank you all the participants of your regular presence and our team member. Thank you, Vihangam Yoga Singapore team. Thanks, Suvaji, for coming up always the new idea. Thanks, Chandanji, for providing all the IT support and back-end work. Thank you, everyone. And if you are the first time here, please visit our Facebook page, YouTube channel, because all our previous session recordings are available there. If you like the content, always click the like button and don't forget to share and subscribe with the others. See you in the next session. Till the time, take care. Stay healthy. Bye-bye. Thank you.